There's a small mailbox here. Well, let's open mailbox. If I can spell. Opening the mailbox reveals a leaflet. Okay, well, let's read the leaflet. Oh, hey guys, I didn't see you there. Welcome back to another tutorial. In today's lesson, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making our own text-based game. Similar to what you guys can see here, this is called Zork. If you guys watch The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon mentions this game quite a bit. It's a game made in the 1970s, originally made by some guys from MIT, and it got rewritten to Fortran 4 and then translated to C. So if you guys want to play it, you can play it online. Here's a link right here. It's a very popular game, so try that out if you want. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating our own text-based game that runs in CMD or terminal or your console window, or whatever it's called in your appropriate operating system. So it runs in Linux, Mac, Windows, whatever OS you have. So the first thing I've done is I've created a project. I've created a main method as well, and we can get ready coding. So the first thing we want to do in terms of coding is type out a while loop which runs forever. So while true, while true. Now this while loop runs from top to bottom. So what that allows us to do is it allows us to actually go backwards as well. So you can go backwards, you can skip stuff when we add a variable in here. So we're going to be adding a variable, and that variable can control if you want to go back a step, like if you go north and you said you want to go south, then you can go back to the four-way street and then click on go south or whatever you want to do. So that's what this while loop will allow us to do, and we're going to create a variable. Now this variable will allow us to keep track of what position the game is actually at. So what what question the game is at, which allows you to save the state of the game. So we're going to create a public static string question. Let's just give it a random variable name. Okay, so this question will allow you to save a game and then start the game up where you left off. So basically you can simply say question over here is equal to pref.load and then load the file or whatever. If you guys watched my previous tutorial where I covered how to use a preference file, you guys can do the same thing. But because I'm not going to be doing that right now, we're going to say question is equal to 0. So we've not asked any questions yet, so we're starting off at 0. So let's start off with a switch in case. So switch is simply it's similar to if and else. So let's create a switch statement. Now switch is basically if, let me write in a comment for you. If variable is equal, wow, how do I spell equal? Equal to whatever. So what's going to go in here is question. Okay, so where about in the game are we? Okay, so if we had question 0, it'll load up the first question. If we had question 1, it'll load up the second question, and so on. So that's what the switch is equal to. So switch, and we can have case. Now case, we'll put as 1. Now the reason why we're putting it as 1 is because that's the way that we're going to be working with this. So you can see we have question is equal to 0, question is equal to 1. But it's not in terms of integers, it's in terms of string. That's why we have the 2 double quotes. So we're going to run through a while loop which runs forever. So switch question if variable is equal to if it's equal to 1. Actually wait. If variable is equal to this right here, then it'll run whatever code is in between this line, this case 1, and then break. So let's leave a space, and then we can type out code in here. So if question is equal to 0, that means the game hasn't started, which means, oh wait, actually we need to make this as case 0. So question right here, the variable should be replaced with question, okay? So if question is equal to this right here, and if you guys look at the code right now, question is in fact equal to 0, which means it's going to run whatever code is in here. So let's type out s out and press tab. It'll type out system.out.println for you. I know you guys don't want to type that over and over again, so that's what this is for. It's a nice keyboard shortcut. Okay, so in here we can type in a little story. So I'm going to type in a short story now. I've already typed it out, so I'm just going to copy and paste. Hang on a second. Okay, so I've typed out a short story, and if you think it's too long, all you do is you just go to whichever line you're at and then press enter, and it'll cut it down for you. Now I've added 2 /n's over here. The /n is because it leaves it goes onto a new line. So what it does is it does this. Then the second /n puts it onto a brand new line. So it leaves a space in the middle. That's what that is for. So it's saying, what is your name? Okay, that's the first question. So let's change question to equal 1 because that's our first question we've asked. So question equal 1, and then we can move on. So what's happening right here is that question is equal to 0, it runs the while loop. Switch question, it checks what question is equal to. If it is equal to 0, which it is, it prints this out. Once it's finished printed out, it changes question is equal to 1. It breaks out of this case and then moves on to the next one. Currently we don't have anything, so nothing will happen. So if we run our program, okay, it just says what's your name, and then that's when you would type in whatever your name is. And we have to close it from here. Okay, so now that question is equal to 1, let's move on to case 1. Which means if question is equal to 1. So case, and then put in the brackets 1, and then once again break. So what's happening now, question is equal to 1, it breaks out of the loop, out of this case statement I should say. Oops. Oh no. What is going on here? Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, so it breaks out of this case, and then because question is now equal to 1, this becomes true, which means it'll run whatever code is in here. So let's type in some code. What we're going to do is we're going to say question is equal to 1a. Now 1a basically stands for question 1 has been answered. Okay. Now before we can make question equal to 1a, we need to actually answer it. So the way we do this is we're going to create an object of a class up here. So we're going to type in public static scanner scanner in is equal to new scanner, and then in these brackets you're going to type in system.in, and then you want to add the import for scanner. There we go, java.util.scanner. And now over here you want to type in .next, and this will take the input. Okay, now if you want to save the guy's name, all you do is you say string name is equal to in.next. That's it, and that's how you save the guy's name. But I'm not going to save his name. So that's fine. Okay, so now that you've typed in in.next, what's happening is it's waiting for an input from the keyboard. So you're typing. As soon as you click enter, it'll run this bit of code, and then it'll say question is equal to 1a, and then it'll move on. So let's copy this, and let's do question 1a. Damn it. Okay, so case 1a. Now for case 1a, we need to do a little bit of thinking. Let's ask the guy if he's sure that that is actually his name. So I'm going to just copy this print that I've made on my other page and remove the in.next. There we go. So what's happening now, it's saying you're still a bit groggy from the drinks. Are you sure that this is your name? Now over here, this bit of code, I'll come over now. And then we got these 2 /n's, which means it goes into a new line. So it firstly asked you, you got a hangover, you might go on the night before, it's weird, whatever, what's your name? You finish typing your name. My name is Mayur, so I finished typing Mayur. Now it moves on to question 1a. Now it's telling me you're still a bit groggy from the drinks. Are you sure this is your name? And then you can type in yes or no. You want to change question is equal to 2 because this is the second question we've asked. This bit here is obviously a question. And then what I've done here, I mean, keep in mind you can get a lot of yeses and nos. You can get yes, you can get no, you can get yep, yeah, nope, nah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different terms that you can use for yes or no. So instead of doing all of them, I just decided to go with the number 1 and the number 2. So I give the user an option. I basically just go into a new line and I put 1 in brackets, yes, go into another new line, put 2 in brackets, and then have the word no. So when that shows up, let's run the program now. It asks you what's your name. My name is Mayur. Whatever, I spelled that wrong. Actually, let me spell it correctly. You are still a bit groggy from the drinks. Are you sure that this is your name? So you can see how nice this 1 and this 2 looks. And then at this point, you'll either type 1 for yes or 2 for no. And we're going to get to that bit of code right now. Now this is where it gets a little bit complicated, where most programs won't be able to do anything about it because it doesn't have this variable or this while loop. Now the while loop can also be called the game loop. Not really, but it can be. Okay, so now we can move on to case 2. So case 2, don't forget the break. Now it's a little bit complicated on this one. Now what can happen is you can get two options. You can get yes or no, you can get true or false. So the problem comes in is that we need to go backwards this time. If you click on 1, it's not a problem, okay, because you can continue on with the story. However, if you click on 2, you need to go backwards and you need to ask the user what is his name again, so he can type in the correct thing if he's not happy with his current name. So let's create another switch in case. Now in this switch, in these brackets, it's going to be a little bit different this time. It's going to be what the user types. So we're going to check whatever the user types if it matches 1 or 2. Because remember, we're looking for 1 or 2. What you guys can do is you can also do yes or no, or you can do 1 or 2, or you can do both. I'm going to go with 1 and 2. So we're going to type in switch in.next. So what we're doing, remember this first line, if whatever the user types, pretend in.next is user type. If user type is equal to, and then we have the case. So case 1, because that's 1 for yes, break. Then let's add the second one, case 2, and then break. I did a mistake there, made a mistake. Okay, so for case 1, it's not a problem at all. What we can do is we can say question is equal to 2a, because we answered question 2a. Dang it, Netbeans. I'm typing in the doc here, so 2a. And then we can also print out a nice little message. So what I'm going to type in is I'm going to type in this bit of code right here. I made this tutorial before already, and what happened was my audio, my Audacity, it didn't record properly, so I had to remake the video now. So it says, the girl you met last night was very beautiful, you want to get back in contact with her, why don't you check your phone for a number. So what's going on here is that you're drunk, you wake up, you met some girl yesterday, you know, you're still a bit hungover or whatever, and then it says that the girl you met last night was very pretty, you want to get back into contact with her. So it tells you, why don't you check your phone for a number. So it's giving you a bit of a hint. And at this point, for the case after this, don't forget you also need the break at the end of this this case statement. Don't forget that. So on the next one, you'll have something like case 2a, right? And then over here is where you would type in stuff like where the user would type in user types open phone, right? Open phone. And then you can say computer, oh damn it. And then the computer can say computer says no number found, or whatever. That's just a bit of pseudocode or whatever you want to call it. So that's how you would continue on with the game. So at this point you'll type in, the user would type in open phone, or what you can do is you can have options like how we did for this one right here. So you can say yes or no. I mean, you can say open phone, look in drawer, look in pants, look in your jacket pockets or whatever. You can have 4 options, you can have 5 options, or you can just go with open phone, like a keyword open, and then the object that you want to open, which in this case is the phone. So up to you what you guys want to use. Obviously it's easier to go with the options. So for case 2, what we need to do is we need to set question to go backwards. So we're going to say question is equal to 0. The reason why we're saying question is equal to 0 is because we wanted to ask the guy what's his name again, which is in this bit of code right here, remember? So you can say question is equal to 0, and it will loop back onto the top. Not just for now what's going to happen is when you loop back, it's not going to leave any spaces. Okay, so it's going to immediately go straight from your answer, which was 2. It's going to go straight from 2, and then it's going to say you woke up with a hangover with no spaces. So in order to make some spaces, just type in s out and then type in /n/n. That'll create 2 blank spaces. Now let's run the program or the game. Flipping Netbeans. So what is your name? My name is Mayur. Are you sure this is your name? You can see I spelled my name with the small letter. So I'm going to type in no. Now it's going to say you wake up with a hangover the following morning. It's currently 11 a.m. and you remember, and you seem to remember, all you seem to remember is a girl you met at the night before, at the bar the night before. It's weird how you remember to spell out your own name. What is your name? Now I'm going to type it in properly. You're still groggy from drinks. Are you sure that this is your name? You can type in yes, and then it says girl met for whatever, contact, why don't you check your phone for your number? Then at this point you'll type in open phone and it'll run whatever code you want it to run. So that's just fine. Now let's add a little thing to exit the game. So okay, so what we have now is I've just added this bit of code on the top, this comment saying it handles the story. So now what we need to do is we need to add code so that you can exit the game directly from typing. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a variable up here. We're going to say public static string user equals blank string, and then wherever we inputted a switch statement, just put user is equal to whatever. So not a switch, sorry, wherever you put a in.next. So I think it's over here. I think I mistakenly deleted it, but you say user is equal to in.next. So what's happening is whatever you typed in gets stored into the user variable, and you can do the same thing for the switch statement as well at the bottom, user equals in.next. Okay, then we can add a let's go with a if statement, okay, because it's just a little bit better to use in this situation. So if user.equals, and then in here you can type in let's type in equals ignore case exit, and then in here you type in system.exit, and then in the bracket 0, and then we can have an if, and then we can have an else, and then everything, the entire story gets handled into the else. So Control X, move that bit right there, and then throw everything into the else, and it'll probably mess up the formatting. So you press Shift Alt F, there we go, and that fixes the formatting. This is not how I like the formatting. I like it when you do something like that, but it's easier than tab spacing every single thing. So that's it. That's it. So just run the program and see what happens. Okay, so what's the name? My name is Exit. Game over. Nice try. So okay, let's try with my name, and then it says the option one. So let's type in exit, and you can see it exits the game. So you can have an else if, and then an else, and then all your main game code will go into this else statement. Or you can do it in a separate class if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter. You can do this in another class, and then just put a one-liner onto here. So now that we have that done, all we need to do now is we need to make our thing runnable. So press this button right here, this clean and build project. It'll build it once it's done. You can just close it once everything is fine. So we're going to open up your documents folder, your Netbeans projects, look for your text-based game, the dist folder, and then you want to copy that the source directory. So you want to create a new, actually just open up Notepad. Open up Notepad, or any text editor for that matter. Hello, Notepad? Oh. There you go. And now we're going to type in @echo off. That'll make sure that it doesn't show the URL. Then we're going to type in cd, we changing directories to this directory right here, which is the one that we just copied from here. Then we're going to type in underneath this java-jar. I don't know if it's a space or what. Let's just try that. Then you just want to rename this. Rename Control-C, Control-V.jar. So that's what it looks like. You first type in @echo off, so it doesn't echo the this directory over there. Then you want to type in cd, which will direct to this this drive here on your computer. Then you want to type in java-jar, and then the name of the jar file. Then you want to click on File, Save As. You want to save it as game.bat. I already have one on my desktop. Save it as an old file, don't forget that. Click on Save, yes, and then that's it. So I got it on the other screen. Now you want to double click on it, and you guys can see that we have the game started. Wake up with the hangover for the morning, it's currently 11 AM, blah blah blah. Type in your name. You're still a bit groggy from the drinks. Are you sure that this is your name? No, it's not my name. So then it goes back, it loops back, and you guys can go full screen if you want. But you need to right click, properties, and then you can set the width and height. So let's go with the width. There you go. Okay, so it's pretty much full screen really. And yeah, the game looks pretty good. Now you can type in what's your name. So my name is Mayur Singh. Yes, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, exit won't work here because we don't actually have input. So let's try with the exit again. So let's run our game and then type in exit, and you guys can see the program closes. If you wanted to, you could have created a delay so that it you know, a delay before the game exits. So anyways, if you guys haven't subscribed already, please make sure you do. Leave a comment and subscribe. If you guys have any app ideas or tutorial ideas, don't forget to leave it in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.